So for me, one of the problems that I've been having as a junior litigator trying to progress in my career is being in the room but not really being in the room. When emotions are running high in a settlement discussion, sometimes people start to talk faster, they talk over each other, and you can't always capture everything that's being said. And when you're trying to be the person typing notes and you have multiple people speaking over each other at once, it can be very difficult not just to keep a record of what's happening in the room around you, but to keep a written record of that. And historically, we would just have used a transcription program, but actually it doesn't really give you the context of what was happening, and it also can't tell you what the emotion in the room was. Well, when I found out that we were participating in the early access program for Copilot, I was originally a little bit skeptical and a little bit concerned, and I thought, are we being replaced here by robots? But actually, the more I used it, the more I realised that actually it's just a tool to assist you. So what the tool did is it reviewed the transcript for me during the meeting, and when I was looking back over it, I was able to say, did we get to the bottom of this particular issue? And it sprung up with a bunch of different things that said, well, one person said this, the other person said this, there was no resolution. And so actually when it came to the end and we were dealing with action points and who needed to go away and look at what particular issues, I was able to just say, well, there was this and there was this and you think this and you think this, but we have no resolution. Can we come up with one now? And normally you'd have to scroll back through all of your notes. You'd be scrolling up and down and looking around for different points. But with Copilot, I can just ask it the question and say, what questions have been left unanswered, and it'll give me a list of things. And then we can ask it while we're in the room. And the benefit of doing that, particularly in a settlement discussion, is that you don't walk away from the meeting, then have to arrange another one, or even worse, have to send awkward correspondence to try and work out where things were left. It just helps you get to the information a lot faster than if you were manually going in and having a look for it. So historically, I might ask a trainee to help me find a letter of a particular date, or I might ask it what our position was on a particular issue. And actually, if you know how to plug in the right data to the tool, it'll just spring those answers up for you in a matter of moments. And that's really been crucial in, number one, reducing the amount of time that I spend looking for things, but also it really saves costs for the client because it's so much quicker and easier. And actually it's often more accurate because it'll find things that maybe you forgot about. So one particular example I have was a settlement meeting that took place in our offices, and we'd invited members of the other side to come along. So that was clients, it was their counsel, and it was their solicitors, and we had a team of people on our side and a team of people on their side. And the settlement discussion did get a little bit spicy. It was a difficult meeting is what I will say. And so that's a really good example of where a tool like this is really helpful, because afterwards you can ask it, how was the tone in the room? And it'll tell you. I suppose one of the unexpected benefits of using the Copilot system wasn't just about saving time and saving costs, but actually for our more junior people in the team, they were doing a lot less administrative work. They weren't having to scroll back, make bullet points of things. They were actually getting to analyse what was said and coming up with solutions for ways that we could move forward. And that was a lot more useful for their learning and for us in trying to progress the cases we were working on. For me, I think one of the biggest influences that Copilot's had on the way I work is that during meetings in particular, I'm actually able to take part in the conversation rather than just being staring through my screen and trying to keep a record. Actually, when you're quite junior, it's hard to speak up and to write at the same time. So for me, it's really allowed me access to be able to speak and to have conversations with clients and to have conversations with counsels and to ask the questions that otherwise I might have made a record of for myself but never actually got the time to ask. There is so much more to using this tool than simply administrative tasks. It's what you use to make sure that your work is happening effectively and to make sure that everything that you're doing is happening as efficiently as possible. So don't be afraid of it. Use it as much or as little as you like, but have it there on your system ready so that when you do have something in an emergency that you need to find, you can find it really, really fast. I was really pleased to have it because there were occasions where I went back to my kind of former life before Copilot and thought, I don't know how I would have done this if I didn't have this tool to help me. Copilot's one of the ways that we're looking to experiment in how we work with our clients and our partners, and we're really excited to see how it develops into the future and what it can do to help us improve our service delivery.